guys. Welcome to Backstage with the Stones on My Day Blues. All right. So all I gotta do is get the chat going, and then we'll get the show on the road. And I'm gonna start posting every day on YouTube. I guess I've more or less decided. Just because every time I start a platform, so, knock on wood. Because, I was posting on YouTube. I started a while back. And I was doing it every Friday. But I guess, just been reading a lot of YouTube. And then Napoleon Hill, I've been listening to him like almost daily. And anyways, they're just saying like in the beginning to get going, like I said, I've already got a YouTube channel. I've actually got another one that I was going to start doing kind of different types of videos, like no-face videos, basically. And I looked into that, so I might still do that as well. But for now, I'm going to do... and then I looked into about streaming, right, on YouTube. And you can't stream until you have so many subscribers. So I guess maybe I forgot about that, or I'd looked into that at one time. And so I got to get going so that I can start just, streaming on this platform, YouTube. But I've been streaming. I started on Periscope, then I switched to Twitch, and now they're limited to only to 100 hours. Like everything before May, whatever date it was, that's, you can go ahead and have that as far as highlights, because I never paid for, to have, not pay, yeah, I think you pay and then you can just have your stuff all on there, right? Well, I never did that. I just went ahead and they do let you have highlights, so I would put highlights. So all of my highlights prior to that, they could stay on the channel, but from May, whatever date it was, forward, they're only giving you 100 hours. So anything new, you just pop up something that's better than something else, I guess, and cut out whatever. I mean, so far I haven't gotten to the 100 hours, but it's only a matter of time because I usually stream for a pretty long time on Twitch. And I'm talking like, to keep it on Twitch, on your channel, like, I mean, you can always download after you get done streaming and stuff, but anyways, I just decided that, I just feel like, I'm just being called to do that, just get going on it. And I'm like almost every day now watching something on YouTube, right? Like whether it's the crime stories or the murderers or Under White. My new channel that I like listening to is White Underbelly. Let's see what it's called. Okay, so the new channel I've been listening to is a Soft White Underbelly. And the guy interviews, it's for like, news that, they're not going to report or whatever on the regular news station. So you actually hear from the person about the certain situation, like being in jail or incarcerated or whatever, or sex trafficking, molestation, detectives that have been in the field for a long time. So, they're shooting straight for, like, what they did and, their profession and all that. Anyways, yeah, so that's like, and then I like to watch the crime stories and stuff like that. And then I like to watch my YouTube different guitar teachers and stuff. And I like to have, on Twitch, I have it on pools and anything to do with swimming and water and bikinis or whatever, because of my surfing, right? But so I just decided, because every time I go to a platform, it's always something, right? So I'm just like, and it's funny because besides the new soft white underbelly that I've been listening to, that's the new YouTube channel I've been listening to. The other one is Napoleon Hill. And so I've almost been listening to almost every day, one of his videos. And it was funny because I guess the YouTube channel, it gets smarter and smarter as far as what you are listening to. So it kind of like puts in the feed stuff that's related. And so this girl's feed came into my feed, and everything she was saying was almost exactly like what Napoleon Hill said about being successful, and like you're not going to get sleep and you got to just totally focus. And that's what that whole video, this girl, let me see if I can find out who she is. Okay, she goes by Alexa, or she's got an X, and then I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Sarah Noah, so Alex, so Alex with an A after the X, and then her last name is Sarah Noah. And anyways, everything that she was saying in this one particular video about, going into YouTube, just a lot of it was, what Napoleon Hill's saying about being successful, and it was like almost on point. I was just like, okay, like I just feel like I'm being drawn to, like, that's what I need to do, is this YouTube channel. So I'm going to start, like I said, posting every day. So she said that she, like, got fired from her position, like a professor or something crazy like that. And just every day was like, shit, no, I'm just going to have a job or something crazy like that. And, yeah, one day she just, like, didn't have a job. And so she just went all in. She said, you got to go all in. And she said, it is hard. It is, but, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, she did it for, every day for a year. No sleep, with 3 kids, and yeah, she is 6 figures after a year, and she's fairly new. It's not like she's been doing it for a long time, but she's also a professor, so she knows that she's not an idiot. So, anyways, plus you got to add value. So what I'm going to do with my channel, since I'm not the best musician, but I am not the worst either, is that I want to, I like reading, so I want to apply that reading. So I like reading, like, about other musicians. And the book, one of the books I'm reading right now is Yoko, and it's really good. So I want to do where I, like, do my guitar, but also read from a book about a musician. And most people probably do not know that Yoko is a classically trained pianist. She was a better pianist than John Lennon. Like, I was shocked. So anyways, I've already started reading it, so I'm just going to start from, actually today I'm just going to read the, so when I get books from the library, the first thing is, like, if it's anything to do with musician, like, as soon as I saw this, I'm getting this book, right, to read. And it's a 14-day, so I don't have much time, so I usually have to renew the book over and over again. So anyways, this is a biography by David Sheff, and he was really good friends with them. He was like an actual, he's actual publisher, or author, multiple books. So David Sheff is author of multiple books, including the #1 New York Times bestseller memoir, Beautiful Boy, and he got permission, because you know Beautiful Boy is the name of John Lennon's song, one of his songs, which was turned into a movie in 2018 starring Steve Carell and Timothy Chalamet, probably saying his name wrong. His work has appeared in New York Times, Rolling Stones, Wired, Fortune, and elsewhere. His piece for the New York Times, My Addicted Son, received an award from the American Psychological Association for outstanding contribution to advancing the understanding of addictions. So Beautiful Boy is about his son that had an addiction problem. And because he was such good friends with John Lennon and Yoko Ono, you know, he got permission for that. So that's on the biographer. And then we're going to just, how I'm going to start it is reading, we'll start with the back of the book, because that's what I like to do. I like to read the whole thing. In this book, I didn't varnish the truth to depict Yoko as either a saint or a sinner. Instead, I did my best to strip the varnish away. I did my best to accurately reconstruct events and dialogue and report what actually happened. One thing I didn't have to do is surmise what Yoko is like. After decades of friendship, I know what she is like, and I did my best to show it. In these pages, I expose Yoko's missteps and failures. I reveal the depth and sources of her pain and fear. I also show her profound wisdom, wit, humor, inspiration, talent, and joy. Her resilience, compassion, her triumphs, and genius. Ultimately, this book is about more than a single person. To borrow from another Beatle, it's also a magical mystery tour through remarkable times and places. It's about how people are hurt and how they change. It's about survival. It's about those who see differently and think differently and suffer because of it. It's about art and creativity and dream of peace. When I look back on Yoko's 90-plus years, I see one of the greatest stories of our time, a harrowing, exhilarating, and inspiring journey from the introduction. So that's in the introduction. So just reading this first flap here, and then we'll get on to the show. An intimate and revelatory biography of Yoko Ono from the #1 New York Times best-selling author of Beautiful Boy. John Lennon once described Yoko Ono as the world's most famous unknown artist. Everybody knows her name, but no one knows what she does. She has only been important to history insofar as she impacted Lennon. Throughout her life, Yoko has been a caricature, curiosity, and often a villain. An inscrutable seductress, manipulating con artist, and cartwalling fraud. The Lennon Beatles saga is one of the greatest stories ever told, but Yoko's part has been missing, hidden in the Beatles' formidable shadow, further obscured by misogyny and racism. This definitive biography of Yoko Ono's life will change that. In this account, Yoko Ono takes center stage. Yoko's life, independent of Lennon, was an amazing journey. Yoko spans from her birth to wealthy parents in pre-war Tokyo, to her harrowing experience as a child during the war, and her arrival in the avant-garde art scenes in London, Tokyo, and New York City. It devolves into her groundbreaking art, music, feminism, and activism. We see how she coped under the most intense, relentless, and cynical microscope as she was falsely vilified for the most heinous cultural crime imaginable, breaking up the greatest rock and roll band in history. Yoko is a moving, propulsive, and vastly entertaining account of a woman whose story has never been accurately told. This work not only rehabilitates Yoko Ono's reputation, but evaluates its iconic status. And I'm telling you, when we go through this book, I mean, I've already, been reading it, but I was shocked about all the stuff I read about her, just like, she's like really artistic and very creative and ingenuitive. And it's mainly because of her upbringing and just her distance from her parents. It made it who she was. And, just when I read that, she was classically trained pianist, I had no idea. And her dad was a classically trained pianist. But, and that's what her dad wanted to do, right? But because, he didn't have as much money in his family, from her family, mom's side of the family was super wealthy, one of the four tops. Like, I'm giving away a lot of the book right now, but, yeah, he went into banking because, it wasn't kind of acceptable. They didn't want her to marry a musician and the whole nine, so, yeah, he gave up on his dream, but... I was like, yeah, she's knows how to play piano, because John Lennon, as far as I know, I don't think he's classically trained. Not saying he didn't know a thing or two about music, but, classically trained, that's like next level, hello. So we're going to go through the book, and then what I'm going to do is also do music. So today, so that's what my YouTube channel is going to be, is reading through the book, through books of, musicians, and then I'll do music as well. So I'm going to start the chat to get us going. And then the other thing I'm going to start doing as well, I think, is maybe work on drawing, because I want to start doing more art. Like, I do some art, but I haven't really done much for quite a while. But one of the new guys I'm listening to, his art channel is called Something Fine Art or whatever. He was saying about 2 books that he found are very helpful to help you be a better drawer. And this particular post that he did on YouTube is about how why some artists sell their art and some don't, and that everybody's kind of on this line. He called it something, and that you need to get past the flat line onto the straight line up. And he said you have to, be honest with yourself where you're at with your artwork. And he was saying the number one thing is that you need to get really good at drawing. And he said that you should spend like 20 minutes a day drawing. So I'm also going to probably incorporate that because it's part of the art. So anyways, let me get the chat. So this one guy that I was listening to today on the YouTube channel for Think Media Podcast, that guy Sean, he helps you with your YouTube channel, and he had this guy on there, and really like this guy. This guy, he calls himself Uneducated Economist, which is an awesome name for the YouTube channel. And he during his lunch break, he talks about the economy and just the whole nine. He did all this research on his own. But one of the things I said as far as the YouTube channel is that in the beginning you want to kind of do the same setting, scene all the time. So he said that, yeah, people are used to him being in his car because that's what he does. And he's still, even though I guess supposedly, right, he's saying that he's making 10 grand a month or whatever. I don't know exact number. I think that's what they said, because he was on the podcast for Think Media, but then it's also a video as well, obviously, because it was YouTube, but they do a podcast of it as well. And he said he enjoys work, so that's why he's doing it. But he was making the analogy or whatever that when you want something, and then when you have the money to buy it, you tend to like not want it as much because you know that. So he's making that analogy with the work situation. He goes, I enjoy it. And he said that, because I don't really have to work, he said it makes it more enjoyable. This is what he was saying. And so he's using that same analogy like when you want to buy something and you don't have the money for it, that once you start making money and have money, you tend to like that desire tends to diminish. Now, I don't know what's going on with the chat, but it keeps doing welcome to the chat, when I haven't even whatever. So I don't know if they're having a problem with their chat or whatever, but okay, so real quick commercial break. Don't forget to purchase a few of your date night purses by Skylar Rocket. I actually may be doing some artwork to my purses. So I still have to kind of, so I got these, I'll show you. Ooh. I got these like little thingies, and but I still gotta find like a way to like, and then the best way to use it when it comes to material is using this E6000. I found that in my stuff when I got back from my ski trip. So I need to like, because I do have like, like popsicle sticks, and then I have the skinnier ones, but it's almost like with that I need like the toothpick, get that on the end and then put it on. So I was thinking about putting them on here somewhere, but I didn't know where. So that's my next thing, is like, how do I want to design it, or do I maybe just want to like do like a cross or something like that? Like, I'm not sure. Like, I'm like just still thinking about it, because I've been saying this for what, a year now, that I'm going to do some artwork on it or try to figure it out. And because at first I thought maybe I could do maybe some embroidery, but it's like that kind of like, it's not real leather, so it's like, can't really do that. But I think I could do something with those. But I'm thinking, do I want to do the whole thing, or do I want to do here? So I have to figure out where I want to do that, So, anyways. Alrighty, so I got the chat going, so feel free to leave your edifying comments. So the guy, they were saying, when I was watching that video of the guy with the economist, uneducated economist, because he's saying, he calls it that because he doesn't have any formal college training. He's actually into lumber, which he said that he feels, so he works at a lumber yard, they sell supplies and all that, so for contractors and stuff like that, so it probably sounds like a little bit like a Home Depot, but more you know, mainly lumber. But anyways, who knows, maybe that's what it is. But he was saying that he feels like that whole construction industry is because of the tariffs and everything. He was saying that before that tariff announcement by Trump, that the phone was ringing off the hook in the office, and when am I going to get my supplies, he was saying. And he goes, now ever since then it's like really quiet. People are like, you know, so his analogy, his explanation, he's saying why he believes that is because if you buy a home, if you decide to build a home, he said, right now, he said, I don't even get started on it till 3 years from now. So I was like, you know, I guess it's been forever when my dad built our house. I just don't remember. You know, it's been so long ago, but yeah, it takes time. It's not like it, you know, because I remember like before our house was finished and when they did the frame and they didn't even have the basement in there, and we would go over there and walk through our house, you know, that it had the frame but it didn't even have the basement, didn't even have the foundation, but it had, and we'd go in there and walk, you know, run through our house that wasn't even done yet. So yeah, you just forget, you know. And I haven't had my own house, you know, as an adult. That was the only house that you know, I guess was mine, so to speak, because you know, it was my parents' house or whatever. But anyways, I do want to work on a couple things specifically today, but we're gonna first warm up. So one of the things, what was I going to say? Yeah, so one of the things I want to work on, let me just move this because you can. Yeah. So where's the floor so you can see the Metallica? Yeah. And to make sure you can see Metallica there. All right. Was this new guy that I listen to now, Ross Campbell's his name, and he like helps you with you know, going that next level, because you know, I'm still probably more like advanced, like maybe not intermediate, but advanced guitar player, so I'm not like where I need to be. Anyways, I want to go over these 5 things I think they are where it helps you. So he's saying that one of the things that we're going to go over is, you know, the circle of, it's either the circle of force or fist, depending on how you look at it. So the circle of fist or force, you have to memorize that. That's one of the things you have to memorize. There's like, you know, there's no getting around that. You know, it's music theory, and you know, there was another video I was listening to where this guy was saying that it's called something where, kind of where you're at with your guitar, where some people like, when they say comments like, oh, I don't need music theory, Jimi Hendrix didn't know music theory, didn't know how to read music or something like that. You know, it's called something specifically on this particular thing. I forget now. I'll have to find it, but it's just kind of being ignorant. In other words, like, you know, it doesn't break your creativity, and it does help you be a better musician, and it does help you communicate with your musicians. Because I knew this guitar player quite a few years ago when I was doing open jams, right? And, you know, I didn't know a lot of music theory then. I know more now, right? But I remember distinctively that whenever he talked about music, he would like kind of like, he didn't know how to articulate what he was talking about. But he was a good musician, don't get me wrong. But he would kind of like, you know, say kind of weird stuff like that was not music theory, you know, or just kind of like, oh, go down here, oh, this, that one, and it's because he didn't know music theory, you know. It's like it would be easier for him to communicate if he like knew some music theory. So, yeah, don't let anybody deter you from that. Unfortunately, yes, you do need to know music theory because it's going to make you a better musician. So, anyways, one of the things I'm like doing now is soloing, but the way I do it more like going up and down, you know, across, I guess it would be across. And you really need to be where you're doing it, you know, in one position. And so he was saying, with, depending on what you want to call it, circle of fifths, circle of fourths. Like if you go clockwise, it's circle of fifths. But if you go counterclockwise, it's circle of fourths. Well, he's saying that you should go on every string through the circle of fourths. So it starts on F, C, fat cats go down alleys eating birds. And so he's saying that you should do that like on every string. And then but you know, so it's like you got to go all the way around. Birds, and then you got to memorize it the other way. So if you keep going around, let's see if I can. Ellie's eating birds, and then I saw this one way that's easy to remember. So how you memorize a circle of this is it's what is it? Circle of fifths. So C, F. Yeah, okay, circle. So it'd be circle of fifths, but it's the other way around, right? So obviously circle of fourths going counterclockwise, but so circle of fifths, C, F, right? C, F, and then bead, B-E-A-D, right? And then what do you say after that? Circle, C, F, bead, B-E-A-D, battle ends, and down goes G. So you got to remember that G. So it's circle of fifths, C, F, bead, B-E-A-D, and then you just got to remember G, right? And then bead again, B-E-A-D, and then E-A-D, G, and that's the whole circle. So that's how you remember the circle fifths. Like I remembered it this way for sharps and flats, so you know the order of sharps and flats. But the easiest way is, like I said, circle of fifths, so C, F, and you're going to go counterclockwise, and then bead, B-E-A-D, and then G, and then another bead, B-E-A-D, and then G, and that's the whole circle. So you could do it that way, right? So you could go C, F, B, E, A, D, G, and another bead, B, E, A, D, G. So that's what you need to, so he's saying that way, that exercise, he said, and you do it on every string, right? So you could do it down here, so you got your things down here too, right? So, A sharp B, so C, F, B, E, A, D, because there's not going to be a D or over there, yeah. And then G, another bead, B, E, A, D, G, and then you probably want to like memorize it the other way around too, right? So you know it forwards and backwards. So that's going to be like if you were to start on, well, the C, right? So C so that was backwards. So C, and then you got your G, right? And then bead backwards. So D, A, B, E, A, D. So D, A, E, B, and then you got that G, and then another bead backwards. So D, A, E, E, F. So yeah, so what it's doing is it's helping you memorize all of the notes, he said, because you know where those notes are at, right? And so anything else, so you already know your A's here, so you're going to know where your A flat is, or your A sharp, or your B flat, or your, so you're going to know, so since you know your A, right, you're going to know where your A sharp or B flat is, or you're going to know where your A flat or G sharp is. So you're going to know where the sharps and flats are. So you're basically going to know, because he said normally people memorize it like that, you know. But yeah, he's saying that you should do it like where you're doing the circle of fifths on each string. So I would recommend doing it forward and backwards too. So because you know you got to really think, you know, B E A D backwards, D A E. So D A E B. So forwards, C F B E A D G. Remember the G comes after the B, and then another bead. And you could actually even go down here for your second bead, right? B, E, A, D, and then you got your G, and another B, E, A, D, G. So forward is C, F, B, E, A, D, G, another bead, B, E, A, D, G. And so for every string, that's what you want to do. So we're going to work on that a little bit later. But anyways, that was one of the things he said what to do. Okay, so let's, okay, so I don't know what's going on with the chat, but the chat on my computer, it disappears, but yet it's over there on the phone. So I don't know what that's all about. All right, so let's. Oh, and another thing, that guy, like, speaking, getting back to the YouTube channel, because that's what I'm gonna do. He just uses his phone. Yeah, he posts stuff off his phone. And I think he has enough followers now, though, that he probably streams. So maybe that's why he's doing that. Alright, so let's... Okay, I've been finger picking, but I'm gonna try to do every other day with the pick and then without the pick. Make sure I can hear this out of the speaker. Alright, so I guess I need to check the speaker. that's Brian's, from Brian's song, Brian Kelly's song. Brian Kelly is another guitar teacher, player, pro, that I listen to on YouTube as well. And that's, he did that on, for acoustic theory or something like that, music theory lesson. And when he played that, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to learn that. So I don't know the whole song, I just know that part. But I'm still working on this, not polished. So anyways, let's work on that new technique for memorizing the guitar, to memorize down the notes on the fretboard. So you're going to take the circle of fifths or the circle of fourths, whichever one you want to call it, and you're going to do that in around, you go around. So I'm going to do it counterclockwise. And how do you memorize it? It's CF, C standing for circle, F, fifths, or fourths, circle fourths. So CF, so circle of fifths, or fourths, they both begin with F. So circle of fourths, since we're going counterclockwise, CF, and then bead, B-E-A-D, and then a G at the end of the bead, like beading, but just the G, and then another bead, B-E-A-D, and a G, and that's the whole circle of fifths. So we're going to do it counterclockwise, and then we'll do it clockwise as well. So, and you can also do it, you know, down here, so you know all your, so. Alright, so now let's do it the opposite way. So it's going to be C and G, because G comes after bead, so we're doing it backwards, so it's C, G, and then B-E-A-D, but backwards. E, A, D, and then, so wait, okay, C, G, and then bead backwards, B-E-A-D, so O. D, A, D, D, and then bead backwards again. Because we're doing it, we're starting from C. So C going clockwise, right? So the last one is going to be F, and then back to C. So you might want to C and go back to C for sound-wise, right? So now we'll do it clockwise down here. So C, G, bead backwards. So and then we got that G, right? And then bead backwards again. B-E-A-D. So B, B, and then F, and you can, you know, make it sound like end on C from the beginning, because it kind of sounds awkward, sounds ending that on the F, right? Okay, so let's go to our next string. So find our C. Circle of fours, right? C. And then B. Another bead. So, depending on how you want to end it, you might want to sound it pleasing to the ear, right? So then, want to get down here too, right? So we can do the, let's see, circle of fours, C, bead, remember the G, another bead, so now we're going to do circle of fifths. So starting on your C, and remember it's backwards now, C, so now it's going to be G, and then bead backwards, B-E-A-D, so find your D, B, so yeah, it probably sounds better to end it on the C. Alright, so now we're going to go to our third string. And those of you just joining, so we're doing an exercise where we're using the circle of fifths or the circle of fourths, whatever you want to, however you want to call it. And we're doing it in that order on each string. And then we're also doing the high part, kind of separate. So up here and then go down here. So circle of fours. So we're doing it counterclockwise first. So find our C, circle of fours, C, F, bead, remember G, another bead, and now we're going to do it up here, circle of fours. So we know that's G sharp, B sharp, A sharp, B, C. So circle of fours. Bead. Okay, Okay, see. So yeah, it's really going to help you. So in the beginning, it's going to be like a little tough. So, but it'll let you know like where you're at too, right? So, G sharp, A sharp, E, C. So the C is above the E. C, circle of fours, doing first, C, F, and then bead. Another bead. G. So that's circle of fours. So now we're going to do circle of fifths. So going clockwise. So find our C up here. C. Now going clockwise. Find our G. Bead backwards. B-E-A-D. So D-A-E. Oops. Another bead. G. Now we're going to do, we're supposed to do it, sorry about that. Now we're doing it circle of fifths, so backwards, right? So C, F, and then find our G, and then bead backwards, B-E-A-D, so. And then bead backwards again. Oh, not D, but F, F, and then C. Now we're going to do it up here. Circle of fours. Find our, oh yeah, backwards. Circle of fours. So find our C. We know it's above the E. Above the C, F, then it's bead backwards. B-E-A-D. So find our D. So we know it's D, A, because we know our C's here, so we know the B's there. And then G. And then another bead backwards. So D, A, B, P, and then F, because we're doing a circle of fifths. F, and then I would end it on the C, because it just resolves better. Okay, so we got, now we're up to the D string, doing our circle of fours. So finding our C, so here, C, F, so C, F, and then bead. again. G. And then circle of fifths. Or not what we're going to do, circle of fourths down here, right? So find our C. Our D's here. So sharp, E, F, sharp, G, sharp, A, sharp. So there's not going to be a C. So the closest C is going to be here. So C. And we're doing circle of fourths first. C, F. So notice D, sharp, E, F. So C, circle of four, C, F, and then B. We're not going to get it down there, so we have to go up here. So we got to do C, F, E, and there's A down here, so it's going to be C, F, E, A, D, G, and then another B, E, A, right? So that's D, sharp, E, F, sharp, G, sharp, A. So okay, so now we're going to do circle up this, so it's going to be backwards, so find our C, C, backwards, G, remember G comes after B, so we got to do the G first before the backwards D, so it's C, F, G, oops, sorry. Oh, it's in the wrong area. Okay. C, F, G, Okay, so now circle of this. It's going to be backwards, right? So C, F. So the C, F still in the same place. Or I mean C. Now it's G. And then B backwards. B, E, A, D. backwards again. Alright, so now we're going to do circle of fifths down here, circle of fourths down here. So find our C, the closest C is going to be there. Bead backwards, or bead. Bead again. And now we're going to do circle of fifths, so backwards, so C and the F, same, but C is going to be C, G, right? So C, G, bead backwards, so B, E, A, D, so D, D, A, so that shows you where you're weak at, like right here's where I'm weak as far as. Okay, so now we're moving up to our A string. So circle of fourths we're going to do first. B, or C, F. So find our C. Now we're going to do circle of fifths, so backwards, so C, G, B backwards, B, A, D, so D, A, E, D, let's see, D, G, D, A, D, A, and then G, and then B backwards again. C up here. Circle of fours first, C up, bead. Oops, sorry about that. I got that wrong. Okay, circle of this. So backwards, so C, find your C. And now I'm going to find that G, because that comes at the end of B, so we're doing it backwards, so C, G. One more string, yeah, so it's like going to be challenging. So you do this every day, and you're going to be like the dot. Okay, so C, circle of fours, C, F, bead, bead again, circle of fists, backwards, C, find your G, G, bead backwards, D, and G, B, E, A, D, backwards, okay. Circle of fours, we're almost done. The last upper part of the low E string, so find our C. It's going to be way down here, right? Because there's A, sharp, B. So circle of fours first, so C, F, C, F, bead, G comes at the end, bead again, alright, now circle of fifths, backwards, finder, C, and then G. So that comes at the end of B. Now B backwards. D, A, B, and then there's going to be a G there, and then B backwards again. And then your F, and then C. So, I'm going to do that every day. Alright, so I'm going to try to post something on YouTube or figure it out. Oh, we're getting with, oh, I think I'm going to do some soloing. like A major pentatonic. I guess I like that sound. Alright. I gotta try to like, oops. So I gotta try and put something on YouTube. I think what I might put on is I liked how couple sessions before a couple streams a day before yesterday or maybe a couple days ago that the version of Jolie didn't come out too bad. So I think I'll try to put that on there. Hey, folks. Thanks for listening, and I'm exhausted. I only got like 4 hours of sleep last night. I don't know, I had insomnia. I don't know what was going on. I did not get much sleep, and so then when I tried to work my straight job today, I was like, I made some calls, but not like the normal, like, should be making tons of calls, but I just did a lot of callbacks to try to get someone to, like, that didn't show up to show up or whatever, but I actually had 2 different people that had appointments, and they both had emergencies, like, in their families, like, over the holidays, so it's like, oh my gosh. So that was a bummer for them, but, like, bummer for me, too, because I didn't make any money this week. So far, I've only been making, like, $100 a week. It's like, who can survive on that? It's like, what the heck? Alright, so, anyways, that's why I gotta do the YouTube channel every day, so that's my new gig, that's what I'm gonna be doing, so we'll see how it goes. So we'll see you on the next stream with Backstage with the Stones. Today was on My Day Blues.